Hey guys, so today I'm going to be running through a very simple process on how to install Steam for Lubuntu 14.04. It's a reasonably straightforward process, but it's not entirely obvious, so I thought I might just do a quick tutorial explaining how. So you need to start by opening up your Firefox browser and then going over to the Steam store. And that's pretty easy to get to. All you've got to do is type in Steam in Google and you'll pretty much get pointed straight there. For the URL, it's store.steampowered.com. And then all you have to do is click Install Steam. It'll automatically detect that you are running Linux. You click Install Steam Now. It'll give you steam_latest.deb, which you can open with gdebi, the GTK version, which is your package manager. So click OK. And it will, it'll set you all up there. It will mention that it requires the installation of one additional package, so we can live with that. So you click Install Package, and you type in your root password, which you outlined during the install process. So now it does its little thing. Right, okay, so this error is to be expected. It says failed to completely install all dependencies. To fix this, run sudo apt-get install-f. So we'll do that now. I think we can do that whilst, and you do this by just clicking on the start button, I guess you'd call it, and then going up to accessories and then the LX terminal. This is just the terminal. Sometimes you need to type commands here. Hopefully it's not too intimidating. So they want us to do sudo apt-get install-f. And it'll do that thing where I think it'll try and reinstall curl. That's the package that's having a few problems with. Yes. And then it seems to be doing all right with the rest of the install process. So it's a little ham-handed, but it's not too complicated. All you have to do is type in sudo apt-get install-f into a terminal window. So we seem to be doing okay now. Installation finished. I think that's everything for now. So then what we can do is click on the start button in the corner, go up to games, and there's our Steam launcher. So there's the license agreement that you should always have a read of. And then it's going to want to install some additional packages. This is again to be expected. These are just some drivers. And this may take a little bit of time, but it's a reasonably straightforward enough process. And like I said, this is for the Lubuntu 14.04 64-bit version. Although, as I understand it, Steam is an x84 piece of software, which means that it runs in both 32-bit and 64-bit operating systems. Right, so it's going to ask us to install, there's a pretty hefty amount of kit there, but that's the way with Steam, isn't it? But it seems to be getting through it reasonably quickly. So, oops, lost the window there for a second. So yeah, I mean, it's a little bit of a ham-handed way to actually try and get Steam up and running on Lubuntu. This is reasonably similar to how it was done with the last long-term support release, but but once you've got it set up, it's set up for good. And like I was saying, I've had practically zero problems with running Steam on Linux. I think it's fantastic that Valve have decided to port their games for Linux. Of course, we know that it's not entirely altruistic. We know that the Steam OS is, of course, based on Linux. Is based on Debian, to be precise, which makes it which easily makes it, which can make it easily potentially compatible with Ubuntu, and that they have made it compatible with Ubuntu, which is great. And so it's kind of, there is a part of them that is doing it because it fits in well with their business model, but there is also it's also quite an established trend that Linux gamers spend more money when it comes to the pay what you think they deserve model than Windows users. Whenever it's things like the Humble Bundle and so forth, Linux users tend to pay significantly more than the Windows counterparts. Okay, so now what we're seeing here is the installation of the actual Steam candidate. So how the process goes is that we download the installation software. The installation software will then make sure that our computer set up correctly, which was just the stage we were going through now, and install any components that needed installing. And now it's going through the process of actually downloading and installing Steam itself. So there's a couple of hundred megabytes of installation stuff that it's actually pulling down from the internet, which is pretty hefty, but I guess along with Steam comes some pretty nifty stuff and a lot of nifty games. So that's all worthwhile. And to be honest, all of this is it's a drop in the ocean compared to the amount of bandwidth you'll spend downloading actual games and the amount of disk space you'll spend on games as well. Steam also comes with quite a good number of added tools as well. The voice chat is actually particularly useful as well. As we all know, on Linux, Skype is very poorly supported, so the best voice chat clients are Google Hangouts and Steam, actually. And Steam uses the exact same codec for its voice conversations as Skype does, which is pretty good. It gives you a nice quality voice conversation. So sometimes I use Steam just to have voice chat as well, because it's nice and straightforward and so forth, especially because a lot of people I know aren't particularly fond of Google Plus because it's not that great and because of privacy concerns, but most people I know tend to have Steam, so and they already have Steam accounts set up, and most of them are even familiar with how the voice chat works, and it's easy enough to set up as well, which is pretty good. So halfway through the update, but like I say, we'll be seeing more and more Steam games available for Linux as time goes on, and especially as the Steam boxes start coming into the mainstream a little bit more. I think once cloud gaming and this digital distribution thing becomes more standard, I think Steam boxes will become a lot more widespread and a lot more popular. I think the reason they aren't at the moment is just because the likes of Sony and Microsoft are just marketing their consoles so much. But I think once that dies down, Nintendo will probably try and do something to recover from the travesty that was the Wii U, and I think Steam box sales will start going up, because that's when Steam box consoles will start looking quite nice in comparison to next gen stuff now. We'll start to see higher performance Steam boxes, and your more dedicated console users will probably want something that the Steam box can offer, especially with games and things like that. And because there's only going to be so much unique stuff that Microsoft and Sony can offer with their old-fashioned style of console development, whereas Steam's going to be constantly evolving. I think there's also going to be some mileage in the fact that Steam boxes are probably going to transcend generations of consoles in the usual way. By what I mean is, if you are on a budget, if you are not very wealthy, you might buy a Steam box that will last you subsequent generations. It could last you a lot longer, and it would still be relevant. You'd still be able to use the voice chat, you'd still be able to use the basic functions, and there would still be quite a lot of indie games that your console could support that are new, that are coming out without actually having to upgrade. A lot of indie games coming out on Steam are suitable for a lot of low-end hardware now. So I think that the Steam box might see a lot more longevity to the console generations, as well as your more advanced users being able to find more cutting-edge hardware through Steam boxes as well. I think Steam boxes kind of appeal to those two demographics, or will do in time. Okay, so we're still in the install process, but in all fairness now, this video is about 10.5 minutes long, and we're well on our way to getting Steam up and running. Doesn't usually take this long to install most pieces of software, but like I say, Steam is a proprietary piece of software, and here we are. You can log into your existing account, which I won't do just now. But then you can, get logged in, get downloading, and jobs are good. So that's how to install Steam on the latest version of Lubuntu 14.04. I hope some of you have found it useful. That's about it from me today. Please leave any questions down in the comment section below, and also don't forget to catch up with me on Twitter, actually. There's always a bit of a laugh on there. So until next time, I've been Chris Ware, and you've been awesome. Take care now.